Hello and welcome to Geschichten aus dem Leben, a podcast with various guests from diverse backgrounds, hosted by me, Felix Kupferer. Enjoy! Today's episode is a real first for me because it's the first episode of this podcast in English, which means I have more potential listeners from all around the world, but also could lead to German listeners not being interested anymore. I hope that won't be the case. On the contrary, because the guest I have invited today is really interesting, and you should not miss out on the conversation I had with Mariam. Mariam is from Chad and grew up in Senegal, but has spent the past few years living in France and now in Germany, which is also where we met and became friends. The way she came here, like the story behind that is really interesting to hear. But of course, she also has other interesting experiences and stories to share, which she's gladly doing today. Have fun, enjoy, and yeah, I hope you like the English version of the podcast as much as I do. Hello, Mariam. You're my first guest in like a non-German episode. It's nice to have you here.
Nice to be here too, Felix. Thank you for inviting me.
Of course. Usually I start the episode and then we dive right into it. So maybe we can do that here as well, like with the first question to break the ice and get to know you a bit with a first random thing. My question to you would be, on a scale from 1 to 10, 10 being the hardest, how difficult do you think it is to learn German?
Wow. I would say 8 for me, but I think it's for me. I think also like it can be difficult depending on the background. You know, what do you bring when you learn a language? If you speak English or if you speak another language, then it might be easier. And if you are confronted to it every day, you go to school or something, it might be easier or something. But for me, it is an 8. It was difficult for me to learn German, and I'm still learning. I am stuck in B1.
Okay.
Stuck. I like to say stuck because I just stopped my course, and it was not too necessary for me to continue, so I was a little bit like postponing it. So this is why it's becoming a little bit difficult for me to advance. So I am behind.
I mean, it's not so bad. You can understand the basics. You can have some small, easy conversations. So you also understand the language in a way, and the structure and some words. What do you think about German? How do you like it?
To be honest, the first time I heard German, I was like, wow, such a brutal language. I didn't understand a word, and I was like, this language doesn't sound chill at all. But surprisingly, now that I understand it, it sounds so nice to my ear. It's sweet. It is even sensual to some point. I kid you not. I tell you, it's I don't know what happened, but yeah, I like it now.
Things you would never expect to hear from anyone. German is a sensual language.
I tell you, when you don't understand it, it's brutal. When you understand it, I kind of like it.
But I mean, like, you speak French, and that's like the most romantic language ever. And now you say something like that about German. Like, it's hard to believe. But thank you for saying it. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I don't
I
know.
appreciate your dishonesty.
Yeah, no, for me, I tell you. Maybe it's also like it is exotic, for me. Maybe it's exotic, it's something different, so it sounds nice to me, like French would sound for you. Because for me, French is not so romantic, to be honest.
I mean, I guess it's also a factor that you've lived in Germany for quite some time already, and you've gotten so used to it, and now it's familiar to your ears. When did you move to Germany?
I moved to Germany in 2020, just before Corona.
So it's been a bit more than 3 years now. Did you have the chance to travel Germany since moving here? Like, do you know some places?
Yes, a bit. I mean, it was a little bit difficult at the beginning because of Corona. Everything was locked down. But I had the opportunity to go to Berlin, to Hamburg, that I really like, and also Kaiserslautern where I mean, it was my first introduction to Germany, Kaiserslautern, already back in 2018.
Because your husband comes from there. Who is Patrick, who was on one of the other episodes, just for the listeners out there? You might recognize him when scrolling through the podcast history. And now you live in Bonn. So we're almost neighbors. I mean, I live in Cologne, you live in Bonn, which is perfect because we can see each other more often than before. Would you say that's your favorite place in Germany?
Oh, I would say I would rather live in Hamburg. Bonn is a little bit small for me. It's nice. It's very calm, and I like Hamburg more because it's bigger. I like bigger places, and I feel like Bonn is a little bit older people than in Hamburg, for example. And I'm just like a foodie, and the food in Hamburg was amazing. And I don't find so many places like restaurant that I could like in Bonn. I mean, you could still find one or two, but I just like to have more offers. And then I was quite happy in Hamburg, to be honest.
Yeah, I totally get it. But Cologne is also not too bad. I mean, it's close to Bonn, so if you want to go to a nice restaurant, just say the word and we'll go.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, it's a date. You won't get out of this. We are going.
Oh no, what did I get myself into? No, but like I understand where you're coming from because you had lived in other like much bigger cities before moving to Bonn, so I totally understand why you'd say that you rather live in a bigger city. I mean, you lived in Paris, for example, which is one of
Yes.
the biggest cities in Europe, so it makes sense. But that's not where you come from originally. Can you maybe walk us through your life in 30 seconds or more?
Okay. Okay, I will be fast. I was born in Chad in Central Africa. Okay. Then when I was 6, we moved to Senegal, which is like a country in the west coast of Africa. And basically, this is where I did most of my school time in Senegal. So I would say I spent a lot of time in Dakar, which is the capital of Senegal as well. And then after high school, I went to France. And in France, after France, I went back to Chad, and then I came to Germany. 30 seconds? Am I still in the time or not?
I didn't keep track, but
Okay, yeah. So yeah. I was born in Chad, then Senegal, then France, and then Germany.
okay. So you've moved quite a bit. Where's home to you? Where do you feel most at home?
This is a tough question. I would say like I don't know because I wouldn't say home is a place for me. It's more like the people that I will be around, that will be my family, and then my closest friend, and also like feeling safe is also important for me to feel home. So it's difficult. I cannot say like okay, I feel at home at Dakar or that I feel at home in Chad, but I feel at home when I am in a place where I have people that I know, that I love, and also like just feeling safe to be there.
And what made you leave Senegal and move to France for your studies? Like, did you not feel safe in Senegal, or did you not feel like you could have a good future there? What was the main motive for you to leave?
Actually, where I didn't even double think about it because where I grew up in Dakar and also like the school where I was going, it was very normal to finish your studies and then to go abroad. This was like what my brothers have been doing, and then also like all the people in the school or all the people living in those places did also. So it was really natural that after you finish high school, you start to look for okay, where will I go abroad? And also like when you are in the school, I mean, let's say it's like it's not the public school, it's like private school that I went to in Dakar, for example, and there you get so much advertisement from everywhere. I tell you, randomly, even one time we got advertisement from Malaysia, for example, from the embassy, and then they bring all the prospectus telling you, okay, this is what you can do in Malaysia, and you get the same for each country, France, even Germany, and then everybody is trying to get you to get to go there basically. And I think for them it looks like, let's say, a good migration, if I can say it, like yeah, the skilled migration or something. And also like if you come from the school, then they consider that you are coming from the middle class, and then you can pay for your studies also like when you come to Europe or something. So I would say it was not even a question of will you go, it was more like where will you go?
So it was really just like the environment that made you go because everybody else was doing it. And then the brochure from France was the nicest. So why did you choose France?
Oh, I don't know. French was easier than everything else because I mean, you speak the same language first, so you feel closer to France, and also like it was one of the cheapest option compared to Canada or the US. It was let's say like the easiest solution, if I can say it like this, for me.
And you went there to study in Montpellier. And then what was it that you studied?
I studied sustainable food processing and then marketing on top of it.
Okay, now you work in a totally different field. I didn't really like the content of your studies that much.
Not so, yeah. I realized it a little bit late. So, but what do you do? Do you finish your degree and then you have your degree? So this was the choice I made. Or do you quit? And then I just decided to continue and then trying to get a job in another, let's say, domain. And it happened to work. So yeah, I have a degree that I never used.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's what many people do, or most people maybe. You finish high school, you don't know what you want to be or like do in life, and you just pick whatever subject comes to mind and you go with that. And then after that, you start building your life and finding your spot, like your perfect match in terms of work and in terms of the type of work you want to do. So I think it's pretty common. I did the same thing. Like I studied business and then marketing and sales, and now I work in communication. So like that was not a straight path either. And also I think it's more interesting if it's not, because then you can like explore different areas and see what you like and what you don't. And then
Yeah, and also I think I have to say when I decided for my studies, I was quite sure about it. It's not like I was like, okay, I would pick randomly because I had other options, but then I picked this one. So it was not out of nothing that I chose it. It's more like when I started doing my studies, then I realized, oh, I don't like it that much, and then I felt a little bit stuck. But then I was like, okay, the train is already leaving, so I am already in it. So let's just go through the next station or something. You're already in it. So this is what happened to me.
your siblings also left Senegal. One of your brothers lives in Canada now, and your sister lives in China. And I think China is like, it sounds like such an extreme choice to make. How is she doing there?
Oh my God, I don't know how she's doing it. I really don't know. But I have to say, like, I'm so impressed by my sister that she is living in China and studying in Chinese, you know? It's not like she's studying in English or something, but she's studying with the local language and everything. And I'm like,
And it's medicine, right? She's gonna be a doctor. So it's like one of the hardest fields you can study in anyways, and then in Chinese. Wow.
I am so impressed. And she told me that it was difficult, but now she's working with it every day. And for her, it's completely normal. And sometimes she has even difficulties to say the word in English or in another language because she is thinking in Chinese, or I don't know if it is Chinese or what is the language, the Mandarin or something.
Mandarin, yeah.
Yeah. So it's impressive. Yes. So far she's happy and she's starting her last year now, and hopefully at the end of the year she'll be a doctor.
And then she'll stay in China and work there as a doctor.
Oh no, she doesn't want to stay there because she said it's fun when you're a student, but she doesn't think it will be fun to live there.
Yeah, I think China is giving lots of incentives to students from all around the world, and especially from Africa, to come study in China, right?
Yes, actually she got to China through a scholarship. So they have like a program where they offer scholarship to a lot of African countries, and also like the university where she is, she told me that there are so many people from very different part of Africa, like everywhere. There is no part of Africa that is not represented there. You have people from North Africa, South Africa, East, Central, West, everybody's there.
So maybe she even has like more African connections there than you have in Bonn right now.
Oh, definitely, yes. Definitely. I know that, for example, her best friend is from Equatorial Guinea. Yeah, but it's not only Africa. She has friends coming from the Caribbeans, friends coming from Europe, and even coming from other part of Asia also.
I feel like in France you also have lots of African, like people with African roots or like African communities. I always say African. I mean, that's not Africa is a big continent. It's not just like there's different countries, of course, but I feel like overall, from like there's many people from French-speaking countries in Africa going to France, and maybe more so than people from Africa coming to Germany, for example.
Yeah, I mean, it's also like the reason that I chose France than another country because we speak the same language. So, because of the colonial past that we share.
And I mean, you also still have lots of friends from your time back in France still living there. I mean,
Yes.
we had your birthday party, your 30th birthday in Paris. It was crazy.
Yes.
We had so many
Yes.
friends celebrating with us. Like, it
Yes.
was really nice. I mean, it was in December, so 3 months ago almost. And I'm still like fascinated with that party. That was the best birthday party I've ever been to, I'd say.
Oh,
Like, on a
thank
party
you.
bus through the city with
Thank you.
Afrobeat music and like
Yeah.
lots of drinks and dancing. And yeah, no, like I still have this one picture of you and I like in front of Louvre. Why are you
Yes.
like you're holding a coat hanger? Like why is that coat hanger in that picture? I still don't know.
I have no idea. I think maybe some alcohol was involved. I have no idea.
Because I think that's gonna be the picture I used to promote our episode on Facebook and Instagram and also LinkedIn. In case people are wondering why there's a coat hanger in Mariam's hand, we both don't know.
I have no idea, to be honest. I
That's
don't
how
know.
good the party was.
Till today, I still hear stories from this party and people telling me like, "Oh, and this happened and this happened." I was like, "Oh my god, you guys went really wild!" And then, oh my god, it was just crazy. I really loved my party.
I mean, just the experience. Like Paris by night is something totally different. Like it's so peaceful, like all the lights and then you're on the bus that goes through Paris from midnight to 5 in the morning, and you stop at all these monuments, like at Arc de Triomphe, at Louvre, at
Yeah.
I don't know where we stopped, but like there were several stops in between. It was so cool to get out and like get some fresh air and see these famous sites from a different perspective at night with nobody else around, no tourists. That was cool.
Yes.
That was a night to remember for sure.
Yes, yes, it was really nice. I really enjoyed it. It came out the way we wanted it with my friend Hervé because we did it together. So we were quite happy about it. And
And before the party started, you also invited me to another event. It was like this private sale with your friend and her friends from
yes,
Senegal. Like their products they produce and sold there to their friends and family and like the other business owners. It was really interesting to see for me because it was all Senegalese businesses and products which you can't find in stores, especially not in Germany. Maybe in France you would have a chance to, but not even there, I guess. Like it was so specific, it was so special to see that as well. How did you know about this event and how did you invite me there and go there yourself?
so the event was organized by one of my close friends, Aram. Actually, we studied together in Montpellier. And then after her studies, she went back to Senegal to work there. And sometimes she comes from time to time for holidays in Europe or for specific occasions, she would come to Europe. So this is why she thought that, okay, this time we can do an event. But the story is Aram also started headscarf business, and also like because of her company, she's in contact with a lot of other entrepreneurs in Senegal, and also this is how the idea came to host like a private sale in Paris. So it was more like a place where you could meet those brands and also a place where you could buy those products that are not so accessible because they are still in Senegal and they don't have like a, I don't know, a shop here in Europe.
That wasn't the first time that you and I talked about like small African businesses and entrepreneurs from Senegal, for example. You're quite fascinated with that. How come that you're so into entrepreneurship and especially like small businesses from Africa?
I don't know. I just love it. It's fascinating for me. It's growing up also in Senegal, it was quite common that everybody who works a normal job always has like a side business aside, either selling like, I don't know, some beauty product or selling some clothing or something. It's really, really like normal to have a side business aside from your job because I mean, you need the money, right? It's the salary are not always interesting, and you if you want to have like a good living or having a little bit more money, then you will start a small business. So it's really common. And I have always been fascinated by this. I love fashion and I'm fascinated by entrepreneur. I don't know, the passion and everything is just like really fascinating for me.
Yeah, me too. I mean, the products they sold, they were so nice. Like the handbag you bought, for example, it's really nice. Something very unique you wouldn't be able to get here. That was fascinating for me to see too. But then I don't quite understand, like, if there's so many small businesses, like almost everybody does it. How do people, even in Senegal, how do they even sell their products there? Like, how do they find customers?
In Senegal, let's just say like we are a lot fashionista, if I can put it like this. We like to be, I don't know, we like the trends. We like to, let's say we consume a lot. So there is always some buying around. So you buy and you sell, you buy and you sell. So what you will be selling, somebody else will buy it, and then you will buy for someone else. This is how it works. So let's just say like the demand is quite high, and let's say Senegalese women, they like fashion. It's something that is I don't know, growing up fashion is really a big part of your life.
And then is it social media based, or how do these brands and products get promoted?
Yes, of course, social media is playing a big role, but then it can just happen that, you go to your office and somebody comes to your office with a bag of stuff, like I don't know, there is a bag to sell or something, but let's just say that the internet is doing it. You can go on WhatsApp. WhatsApp works a lot in Senegal also to order from it. And then you have a whole system that is in place. You have also like those delivery company. You can get your item delivered for like, I don't know, €3 anywhere in the city. So it's quite there is a structure.
And that's just in Dakar. But what about the countryside, for example?
Okay, the countryside, let's say it's another story because I have to say all the brands that I know are from Dakar, maybe a little bit Saint Louis, but in the countryside, I have to say like I didn't see a lot of brand. Maybe I don't have the exposure to it because I don't know a lot of the countryside in Senegal. So my main uh experience would be based on the brands that I see in Dakar or Saint Louis or like
Okay.
bigger cities.
What is life like in general in the countryside? Is it like, because Dakar is so developed and such a big, almost like westernized city, maybe? What about like rural areas?
Let's say there is a lot of contrast in a lot of West African countries that are I know the best. Let's just say that it can be sometimes two different word. You have in Dakar very I don't know. You have electricity, and sometimes in the countryside you won't have electricity, or it will be difficult to have like electricity all the time, or it depends also, is it a rural area where you have agriculture and then everybody is doing like more agricultural work or something. So it really depends where you are. And I would say that somebody who lives in Dakar is closer to someone who lives in Europe than someone who lives in the rural area, for example. So it's two different words. I don't want to say too much because I didn't really experience it, but I did some small travel, and for what I saw, it was very different. It's not the same, let's say, lifestyle. Definitely not. And it's
Yeah.
not about consuming. It's not about um, fashion brand or something.
I mean, it's about surviving sometimes.
Yeah, maybe. I don't think it's surviving. It's a more modest life. But then also you have this problem that, a lot of people from the countryside, they try to get to the biggest cities. So Dakar becomes a little bit too small for everyone. And now they try to develop the countryside a bit. But yes, it will take some time.
I think it's the same no matter where you go all around the world. Like people tend to move to the big cities where they have the big opportunities. And that's a problem because you need to have people in the countryside to like do the farming and make sure that people have something to eat. Everybody lives in the city and nobody produces anything anymore. Like how do we survive?
Yeah, I mean, it's also the question of how lucrative it is it to be a farmer. This is also like a problem because now it's, let's say that the raw material are getting cheaper and cheaper, and it's difficult to compete. And sometimes it is difficult to earn a lot of money with it, except you have like a big piece of land, or that you do it, let's say, very on an industry level. So if you do it on a familiar level with your small farm, you won't be as competitive on the pricing than people with bigger land or something. So it can be tricky sometimes, and sometimes with the global world, you can be in competition with product coming from, I don't know, India, China, Brazil, that are very much cheaper than the one you
Hmm.
produce locally.
Talking about income and making money and money in general, I've heard that in many African countries, I don't know about Senegal, but it's quite common that people don't have bank accounts and don't have cash, but do everything through their phone. And like you put money on your SIM card somehow and you pay with your phone through text.
Oh yeah. Mobile money, I think. So yeah, let's say that banks are not very trusted. I don't know. I think like we like to have the cash actually. It's the cash and then the mobile solution. So maybe for the business and when you sell, then it's easier because you can get paid on your mobile money, and then you can sell you can send the product for delivery directly. But on a day-to-day basic, we like to have the cash.
Ching.
Actually, I grew up with a lot of cash around me, but the mobile solution is quite also like very practical because everybody has a phone. You might not want to have an account, like a bank account, but you already have a phone with a number, and if they can attach to this number an account, then you are all set. And for you, it's more like, okay, I have my phone in my hand, I have my money there, I can transfer it all the time, so I trust it more. So it's quite a good solution. And also, if you see it, it's also like easier. Sometimes you can get like small credit, maybe at a higher rate, but you can get like a small credit on your phone if you need, I don't know, to buy something very very fast or something. But yeah.
I mean, at the private sales event in Paris, we also paid with PayPal, but I guess it's like a
Yes.
different system again. Like the
Yeah, but it's
mobile
still
money
the
is
same
like,
than digital money or
yeah.
something like that. Yes, it's the same principle to use your phone, that we know that everybody's not going anywhere without their phone. So it's a good way to attach the wallet to this phone.
And then one last question I wanted to ask about your fascination with entrepreneurship is that you and a friend of yours also want to start your own business, right? Like you told me that you didn't follow through with it, but like
No,
what was the
unfortunately.
idea and why did you give up on it?
Actually, the friend is Aram, the one who did the private sale in Paris. The idea was basically just bring some brand here in Europe and then put like a shop, or like a shop to sell those products that we like and that we love and that we think that young people living in Europe can like, and not only people coming from Senegal or from other parts of Africa, but more like product that we think can be liked by ev- everyone. And this was the idea, but it was a little bit tough with the both of us working at the same time. And then she had her own small business that she started to create, and that works quite well actually in Senegal with the scarves. So it was difficult to squeeze in this business, and then we were too separated. But yeah, maybe it will come back again. But for now, it is on hold.
And I can imagine that if you ever start pursuing that idea and bring those brands to Europe, there could be a
Yeah.
market for it because there were things I had never seen before.
Yeah.
So yeah, I can't wait to see you make it happen.
I'll, I'll keep you posted if it happens. I mean, it's not very let's say revolutionary. For now, it's on hold, but who knows? Now that I'm speaking about it, it comes back.
And maybe that could also be one of your answers to my last three questions. There's three questions that are the same for every single guest. The first one being, what are you the most proud of?
Wow. Okay, I am proud of I would say I am proud of supporting my family. It's I mean, so it's also like a business, you know, like diaspora people supporting a family in that state in Africa. For me, it would be my mother, and then yes, I'm happy to support. It makes me proud, and I feel like, oh my god, I did something good, and I'm really proud of it. And yes, supporting my family.
Next question. What's something you couldn't live without?
I cannot live without my friends and let's say the people around me. I am a very social person. I like to have people around me, and I cannot live without seeing my friends regularly, without spending some time with family from time to time. I mean, I go to Paris often because I want to see my friend, and it's really important for me to keep this social and family part. I know that I cannot function without that.
Now that I'm sick, I think you can still hear it a little bit. It makes me realize even more how important it is to me. Like, I wasn't able to meet any people for the whole last week, and I was like, I'm so lonely, I'm isolated, I need to see my friends again. So I think I would also give the same response. Like, I can't live without my friends and family. So I totally
Yeah.
feel you.
Yeah.
And then the last question on the list, and that's the one where you could come up with your business idea again, because the question is, what's your biggest dream in life still?
I think that I would definitely love it's to have to start my business, to finally start it, because I speak about it a lot. And actually, if Patrick will listen to this podcast, he will say like, "Oh my God, I'm tired. You spoke about it so many times. Make it happen now." And yeah, I think I really would love to have my business. And I mean, I didn't spend too much time to make it happen, to be honest. You know, it's in my head, but I didn't really actively like um, worked to make it happen. So I would say like, yeah, maybe now that I made this podcast, it became even more obvious to me that I really would love to have my own business. And also another dream of me was also like doing, it's not charity, but being able at some point in my life to offer scholarship for kids in Chad for a better education.
It's like go back to your roots and
Yes, I don't know. I grew up in let's say my father was very, very pro education. And for him, it was like with education, you can go everywhere. And then, you know, he was able to offer it to us because he had a good job, and he could put us in good schools and still be okay financially. And sometimes it's not the same story for uh, other kids that don't have the same opportunity. And my ultimate dream will be to offer like a scholarship to kids in Chad.
nice. That's a nice dream to have, I think. Don't
Yeah.
don't lose it. Keep it and make it happen.
No, it is still here. It is still here. And actually, I lived in Chad for 1 year, and I already started a little bit, but now it's getting more difficult. And also at the moment, Chad is a little bit not stable. So it was a little bit on hold, and the contact I had there are a little bit fading. But definitely, it's something that I know sooner or later I really would like to do it. Also, like in memory to my father. And yes.
That's also a very nice statement to end the podcast with, I think. Thanks so much for being here. It was really nice to have you as my guest. I hope you had a good time too.
I had a really good time because I just like you.
That's what I wanted to hear. Thank you.
I'm happy just for spending the time with you, Felix. You are the best.
I'll cut that out.
No, you are the best. I love you. I love you, Felix. Don't cut it. Don't cut it.
Thank you.
Don't cut it. Don't cut it.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
That's it for today, guys. Thank you so much for listening to this podcast and this episode today. If you liked it, please feel free to spread the word, share it with your friends, and also listen to the other episodes. Some of them are in English, and I'm sure there will be more international guests coming onto the show soon. So stay tuned. Follow the podcast on Spotify, iTunes, wherever you listen to it. And also feel free to message me on LinkedIn or my Instagram page. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.